The thing is, I feel people perceive your self-image. People relate with you based on the way you carry yourself. I don't know. That's what I've noticed. I noticed that if you walk into a room like every other person, a good percentage of normal people in the room would realize that you're cool with yourself and they will treat you as such. I've had advances from ladies. Yes.
Hot boy summer.
I've turned some down. Yes. And I've accepted some.
I've always wanted to talk about some certain topics. Just for people who somehow feel different from us. I don't know who said the standard of sanity or the standard of alikeness or whatever it's called, but there are some people who feel different from us, and I call it same difference. In this episode, we'll be talking about vitiligo, living with vitiligo. Our guest today is shorturl.at, aka Atmosphere on IG. He has been living with vitiligo for over about 10 years. In this episode, we find out how he's been able to navigate the challenges of living with vitiligo, some of the experiences he's had, how he came to know he had vitiligo, and everything that progressed after it. It is a very fun episode because Shorturl is my guy. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and yes, stay tuned. So today we're going to be talking about I call it same difference, and we're going to be spotlighting you and how you managed, and how you've navigated living with vitiligo, basically. So in my head, I initially planned on giving a definition, but I'm like, let's hear from the man of God. So,
Okay.
What's vitiligo?
Vitiligo. I don't want to go Harvard on it. Vitiligo is basically, let me explain it this way. So the part of your skin cells that produce your color, they have a bunch of tiny cells called sebaceous. It's melanocytes.
Okay.
They create melanin.
Okay.
So everybody's saying melanin popping.
Do you get it?
Yeah. So these melanocytes in the sebaceous gland, which is somewhere in the skin.
For someone that said he doesn't want to go Harvard or not.
Let's be there. So for some weird reasons, they just decided not to do their job.
Like they're angry.
Yeah, like they just went on a strike. Like,
Hey, on certain area.
Yes, certain places in this body. So and they're like, we're not going to give these guys color. Give these people color. So they're like, so that's basically vitiligo as layman as possible.
Okay, so I understand that vitiligo doesn't, most of the time it doesn't come from birth. I think is that you advance in life.
They say it's autoimmune, which means it can't be traced to any known causative factors.
Yeah.
There could be genetic traces, but it's not ideally so.
Okay, I also heard that some level of exposure, some drastic exposure can cause it, but not all the time. And like you said, your skin can just provoke and say, today we're not giving you color in this place.
Yeah.
And move around.
The funny thing about this is it's a mutation.
Okay.
In the sense that there is really no trace throughout my line, my ancestral line, that has any form of skin. I've done my research.
In my family.
Definitely. There's not even, of course, there are light-skinned people in my family, but it's just a mutation.
Okay. Cool.
Or spiritually speaking, demonic activity. I've been dying to say that.
You had to do that.
I've been waiting.
In case you did not hear what he said that if he wants to go spiritual, it's a demonic activity.
Yes.
But he knows that is incorrect.
It's true.
It's not. I beg to differ. So you're trying to tell me that lady in the US, that model lady
in the US,
yes, that got like
vitiligo.
At 19, that is demonic activity. Please, let's not start this. Don't start it. But yeah, so when did you start noticing like
this vitiligo?
Yeah, on your skin?
That was 2005-06.
How old were you then? Just a range.
9-10.
You were 9-10.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
9-10.
Okay,
something around there. But the thing was that it didn't come out as full-blown vitiligo. I started having a lot of bodily reactions then.
Okay. Came as
Yes.
allergies.
I don't want to call it that.
Okay.
But it was just a speck here on my eye. And an aunt noticed and she was like, "Did you get injured?" Is this? I said, "No." Then after a while, I was falling sick. Then I came to Lagos.
You came to Lagos, so we're in
Yes,
Lagos
I
now.
came to Lagos. Yeah. I went to Lagos. I went to Lagos.
See, raising dust on you is one of my favorite things to do.
All right, no problem.
Don't vex too much.
Let me sit up so that I will look serious.
Yeah. So yeah,
Okay, so
you went to Lagos.
I went to Lagos, and then we went the traditional route first.
Okay.
Started drinking abu, JD. I was eating leaves. I was chewing trees.
You were an herbivore.
They were preparing me like sacrifice every morning. I had a special pot where they were boiling all kind of leaves and stuff like that. I was like, is this still medicine or I'm joining something? I don't know. But yeah, it was like that. Then after a while, the woman promised that the whole thing would vanish. And then it all came out.
A lot more came
Boom.
out.
And the woman basically deleted her number. That was not what happened. The idea was that we didn't go back.
Okay, so can you think of a particular time that you noticed that this isn't like how it used to be, and now this is what it is, and how did that entire thing affect you? Because you mentioned that you were like 10 years old. Were there like times where your friends, of course we had friends at 10,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like your friends would be like, oh, were they like some form of reaction to this that made you feel a type of way?
One of the greatest gifts I have is shamelessness.
You cannot do what?
I'm shameless. Shameless. I've always been a shameless human being. Well, there's small shame, but it's not that much.
I know.
Then when it first
I know.
when it first started, my auntie started getting me long sleeve shirts, trousers to cover up. After a while, I got tired of the whole thing. I started wearing my shorts, stuff like that. So at first, I was already socially balanced as a person. And I have a lot of emotional firewall, so I just grew into it. Started becoming used to it. The only time I noticed it was when children are just weird.
Very unfiltered.
And children, like they just become like,
what is wrong with that uncle?
I swear. Some after a while, they'll just tap somebody else and the guy will join. They'll be like 6. By the time you turn, there are a group of children watching you, in church and all that, and they ask questions. But I never ever think about it. I go around and live my life the way it is. But the only difference was that I started noticing that, okay, I have this thing now. This is new. I see it in the mirror. I see it in pictures, And yeah, one time I went for a movie audition in this Abuja. Yes, I did well. My performance was good. But the text message I received was somewhere along the lines of, you don't look good for the camera or something like that. You're not camera gene. I don't know. There's a name they call it. I don't know if I can trace it to Vitiligo, but whatever it was, that was that. So yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so what you mentioned that you when you first started noticing this, you thought it was just some weird reaction that would leave, but it spiraled into something else and you started falling sick. Yeah. So apart from that, what other challenges do you face, like as someone with vitiligo, something? Go.
First of all, I said I was going to say this, and I'm going to be very plain. I have a very spiritual core. It drives almost all the decisions I make in my life. And even in these recent times, it's become very important to me. One of the biggest problems I feel we have now with anything at all is that people don't know how to balance acceptance and denial. It's like a pin with 2 pointed ends. There's complete denial. Oh, I don't have vitiligo. I don't think I do. That's you.
I'm the righteousness of God.
Yes, I'm righteous of God in Christ. There's no vitiligo on me and all that stuff. Then there is this is who I am. I'm vitiligo. I embrace it and all that. And it's a problem because people now romanticize sickness. Everybody goes, oh my God, baby girl, you have PTSD. Me too, I do. I have stage 4 cancer. Oh my God, you're fighting strong. Everybody now worships discomfort, and people are relaxing into this managing lifestyle. Let's manage things. Let's create programs to make them feel accepted. Nobody wants to solve problems anymore. They just want to inclusion and all that. As for me, I believe this is not the end of the road. Whether science or spiritual or either way, I'm not going to be with Vitiligo forever. I'm not fighting it. Nine carrying self, can I go carrying self go? Do you understand? I'm not fighting it. And I am at peace with who I am because I've always been me before Vitiligo and I'll be me after it. But I'm not going to completely say I'm embracing it. And I don't care what pop culture says. I know you should love yourself. I love myself. I don't love the Vitiligo. Do you understand? Nothing makes it special. People would like to feel that difference comes from uniqueness in problems. Oh, I don't know what I feel like. I feel different. So people should treat me special. That's too much entitlement. I don't know if this made sense, but this is how I feel about this vitiligo. I feel there's a road to possible cure.
Okay, because right now there's conversations that it can be managed, but there's no cure.
Sure, I've heard that for ages. Let me give you a backstory. After I left the herbal scene, I started going to the hospital. In fact, I stopped by the psychiatry.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Not for mental purposes, for correlation. There's a way they do it in those hospitals in Yaba.
It has to be Yaba.
Yeah, it has to be Yaba. Not left. So I was at the dermatology unit. I had several appointments. In fact, the day I entered inside the place, I think my number was around 570 something. My auntie were going every morning. By the time it finally got to my turn, I entered there and I saw the woman, like an oracle of skin problems. She was sitting at the long end of the table. She just said, now that's a rare case of vitiligo coming in, and they were just scribbling. Then they gave me all these drugs. There was one I had to take, and I'll be in the sun like a fish for hours. It was...
Kosi, you be in the sun like a fish? Yes,
I had to stay in the sun.
Like a fish?
Fish, yes.
In the sun?
Stockfish. I was keeping stock of my skin.
I'm done. You're so dusty.
No. But seriously, it was such a funny moment. I was taking pills, stuff. Eventually, I just got tired. People were coming up with stuff. Have you tried mixing liver cord with sesame blue shampoo hair oil? Have you ever licked tangerine, the back of it? All kind of things were coming up. And, I just got tired and I left it.
Oh, go on.
There was a soap. It's called Simple Soap. Just glycerin, soap base, and water. At that time, it was 5K for 2. Me went to the bath normally. But for real, man, it was
You were
crazy.
beating judiciously, like
my guy.
Did you add afternoon?
I was managing soap. But those treatments were expensive. And
but did they actually work?
They did not. It's that managing culture. And I appreciate the efforts of the people. In fact, neem, what we call dogoyaro.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. It's everywhere here in Nigeria. Someone gave us a medicine in UK that was in droplets for £25. Still neem, dogoyaro. And they were just neem extract. Something I can cut from the leaves and just be eating it and be chewing it like this.
like everyone.
Like the goats. Yeah. But yeah, that was basically it.
So I understand that vitiligo affects 1% of the world population. So it's not actually something that is very popular. And I know that as Africans, Nigerians especially, there's a certain way we act when we don't know what something is about.
Sure.
There's just this... I think our default is segregation. This person is different from me. I have to stay away from the person. Meanwhile, from research and everything, you can't... Vitiligo is not something that... It's not transmitted by touch or anything. Yeah, it's not communicable. Thank you, English. It's not something that should be like...
ostracized.
Yeah, like... Now, vitiligo, I know cute person.
I know, right?
But based on... and Nigeria, about 6% of Nigeria's population has vitiligo. I remember the first time I met you, I was like, okay. But as
an exposed babe.
I wasn't exposed to anything. But I was able to as a woke. I was like, oh, yeah. I felt like I was interested. I was interested in knowing more about this and everything around it, and which is very antithetical to the usual reaction, because the first time I dyed my hair white, I went on Twitter. They were calling me a tennis ball.
Are you serious? Wow.
It was bad. But thank God for the block button. It was judicialized.
Mighty invention.
I used it.
So what happened to Nancy Sime?
No.
Oh, anyway, because you be celeb.
I'm not celeb now. Do you get?
Sad.
So I mean, that's just from dyeing hair. That's not from having something on my skin. So people would just tend to look at you in a way that if they do not say anything,
they would faint.
Like, can you not stare so badly?
This thing you said, when this vitiligo became a thing, it was all over. I would go to the market and Lagos, Yoruba women cannot resist. They would want to explode. Most of them just come to me and they'll be like, they are not even asking. They are concluding. They're like, it's Otto Yabi, Bele. Oh, yeah, a miracle child. You should be thanking God that you did not burn completely. You
did not burn completely.
I mean, I'll not be like, thank you, man. Shame on me. I didn't have strength. Because then I was singing like an anthem. So what happened to you? Vitiligo is I need something. At one point, I was like, I've told one guy. I was referring them to people that have told what vitiligo is. So, and there were those women, they were always like that. Oh, yeah. Don't worry. If you have money, you see good wife. I'm not even thinking about this.
What are some of the challenges that you've experienced that has made you realize? Because I would like to think that at some point you've gotten so used to this that you don't even remember. Like, you just go ahead with your activities and you're being shameless.
Like I said.
Yeah. And then something just happens and reminds you, this is like you catch them staring, like, why are they staring? I'm like, this is it. Yeah. Are there some kind of challenges, like, let's say, with career, with love, with just school and everything that
with love?
This is supposed to be a serious conversation, but you're not helping me.
Yes, I'm being serious too. You mentioned love.
Okay, so
any challenges?
Yeah.
Let me borrow one saying I used to hear. They say it's not the water around the ship that sinks the ship. It's the water that gets into the ship.
Okay. What's a marble?
Badum. I know, right? But,
just think so.
But it's not affected anything. The thing is, I feel people perceive your self-image. People relate with you based on the way you carry yourself. I don't know. That's what I've noticed. I noticed that if you walk into a room like every other person, a good percentage of normal people in the room would realize that you're cool with yourself and they will treat you as such. I've had advances from ladies. Yes.
Hot boy summer.
I've turned some down. Yes. And I've accepted some.
Hot boy.
Oh, Marie. I don't know if it has affected my career opportunities.
That one you cannot get.
You cannot tell. I don't think there's any employer that has told me, oh, I like what I see on your CV, but it has to be this game.
It has to be this game for me.
But I don't think so. I feel you are people treat you the way you are. It's the way you carry yourself. Yeah, so that's that for that. It hasn't hindered anything for me. In fact, one of the things it did was that it made me, it's been a blessing and almost a curse.
Oh, yeah?
The blessing is like, oh no, this guy definitely was not there. I know he was not. Oh, this guy. He said, he just went out now. I misplaced my card. Please, can you let me in? Oh, definitely that guy. I know him.
There
was a time I was going to parties when I was in my former university without Ivy. Because they knew I was a happening guy at parties. They knew I could always dance till midnight. So they'd be like,
this episode has come to an end. This boy has too much pride.
Yeah, I was using it to do small cover.
So thank you so much for sharing. I'm glad you're shameless.
Grateful.
I'm not sure I've ever been happy about someone being shameless like I am right now.
I learned from the best.
Wow. I see.
Shamelessness is in the
Actually, we do
genes.
usually say that you can't shame the shameless, so it's
Yes,
not
I
entirely
picked it
wrong.
from her.
Be nice to people who are different, because as much as Kosi is shameless, not everyone is as shameless as Kosi, and they will need a little bit more kindness to be able to navigate the challenges that comes with being different in terms of this particular topic. And so just be nice, just be calm. And even if I know that when we see stuff that are different, we naturally want to look, we naturally want to step. Please do it with style, do it with class. With class, a little bit of pizzazz.
Can use bombastic.
Do you get? You can just do bombastic side eye like Kosi's own, just a little bit. But yeah, most people with vitiligo, they have some social anxiety because of how they are perceived, and because they've not been able to grow their confidence to
Can
how
relate.
you get out. Because they've not been able to grow their confidence to how Kosi has. They just tend to feel some form of anxiety when it comes to relating with people. And the easiest thing we can do for them is to just embrace this difference, because as much as we like it, we're all different in one way or the other. Like, you might see someone that is totally normal or looks normal in quotes,
but they eat sliced bread and ogbono.
But
there are people. There are people who do this.
like that. So those people are also not normal, but because it's not a visible difference, we think they're normal.
You cannot catch them.
You cannot catch them. So just be kind to people with that are seemingly different from who you are, and you never know how much how far your kindness can go in helping them to gain confidence and become shameless like Kosi. But yeah, it was so nice having you.
Thank you.
So yes, thank you so much for coming. Short notice
It's
and all
such
that.
an honor.
Vitiligo is not life-threatening.
It's not.
It's not contagious.
And it gets you, ladies, in some parts of this world.
Bye. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. I had lots of fun recording with Kosi. And I would like you to subscribe. So if you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe. If you want to be on the show, if you want to be the next guest or the next host, just fill in the form in our link in bio or on the caption.